Okay. Hi guys. This is kind of an update to my video that I made about that's called Time for a Change. And the reason I'm doing this is because I was very surprised at the reaction I got from so many people. And I had several people ask me to please expand on why I felt the need for this change, particularly regarding children. So I'm going to make this as brief as possible, and this is the last video I'm going to do concerning this change. But the people that asked me to expand on it, I understand what their thoughts about things now. Um, as I said in the video I made, I feel that putting too much out there is not a good thing. But a few of them, one in particular, wanted me to expand on it more. And several people asked me to please give my opinion on why I thought it was not a good thing to have so much on YouTube. Well, real quick, regarding children, okay, because I do want to make this as quick as possible. Regarding children, I feel that it's very wrong that's my view, okay, once again, let me get this straight so that all of you don't get offended. I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong. In my view, it's wrong to put children on YouTube until maybe say they're 16, and you can really discuss with them the consequences of what being put on YouTube can do. Um, when you put young children on YouTube, to me, you're stripping their rights to privacy of their life. You're taking away their privacy. Things that kids used to do or do, like dancing, or say you have a pretty little girl who's in her ballerina outfit, or a little boy who's playing and dancing to his cartoons, or you know how kids do all these cute little things. Well, nowadays, so many people try to find so much wrong with everything that you have to be very careful of what you put on YouTube. You see it on the news all the time that somebody put something on YouTube that they thought was just cute and innocent, and somebody finds something weird and wrong with it. They call the police. Next thing you know, they've got human services at their door, because there's always someone out there trying to find something to create problems with for somebody. They're just out there, everybody. And also, uh, the other reason I'm glad I've never put my grandchildren up. The closest I got was when a video I did about a table, how to protect your floor, while they're eating in the living room or something. Got a back shot of them. That's the most. I'm very glad I haven't, because there's also something that I know a lot of people don't think about and may think it's not your problem, but for me personally, I don't want to contribute to all the perverts and weirdos out there who like to get videos. They like to watch videos of children, and these perverts, these sick, disgusting human beings out there, get their thrills off of watching children. Um, we've all heard the stories where somebody was arrested for child molestation or something, and then they go into their home and they find pictures of children all over their walls. They go into their computer and they see all kinds of pictures of children. Well, it's a sad fact, but that is our world. We've got a lot of sick, perverted human beings out there, adults especially, who do this with children. And it gives me a good feeling to know that my grandchildren, and thankfully my children, when they were little, none of this was around, YouTube and all that wasn't around. It gives me a good feeling to know that my grandchildren will never be part of what feeds those sick and perverted people. And I know a lot of you are saying, well, that's not my problem, that's theirs, what have you. Yeah, it is their problem, but I just personally feel good knowing that they can't get their thrills out of my grandchildren. And they can't copy and, they can't print their pictures and have them hanging on their wall to have sick and perverted thoughts about. And they can't be sitting at their computer watching my grandchildren um, while they get their thrills, if you know what I mean. And I know a lot of you might think, oh, whatever. Well, I think it's a big deal, because there are so many now. Our children can't even go out and play by themselves anymore, because some weirdo will pick them up and molest them, rape them, or kill them. And I don't want to contribute to that illness. And I think that by having children, I don't care if it's a baby on up, uh, till they're able to, where you can have a conversation with them and make them understand, look, where they have a mentally mature mind, you know, a mature view of life, not some 9 or 10 or 6 year old who, yeah, put me on there, I don't care, because to them it's just a thrill to see themselves on YouTube. It's a thrill. They don't understand the consequences. Anything you put out there, guys, you know as well as I do that it can be kept forever by someone somehow. I can take this camera that I'm doing this with right now and get on YouTube and videotape some video and keep it forever. And these things can be used against you or your family or your children at some point. Something as simple as you videotaping your 2 children maybe wrestling, or you know, when they're 6 years old, and it's funny to you. And then maybe when they're 14, they get into a fight with somebody, which was just a fight, you know, how it used to be years ago, years and years and years ago, when some 2 boys would get into a fight, it was nothing more than a fight. Now, it is used against you to say that you're mentally ill, to put you in jail, to put you in a home, that you're a troublemaker. Look what this kid did when he was 6. See, this shows signs of him being mentally unstable. There's so much that can be used against you and your children and your family that to me it's not worth the risk to put it out there anymore. I can't believe they do this when I get on here. I have made the decision I have made the decision for myself to be on there, and I realize that there, you know, are consequences. But that is also why I'm changing the way I do my videos to where it's just going to be helpful hints and tips and useful things, stuff like that. Because I don't want to expose my life, what goes on in it, and the people in it to be up for any kind of criticism, or for the fanatics out there that say, oh my gosh, I don't like the way she said that, or the way she talked to him, or the way, you know, there's too many people out there who go crazy with that stuff. And a lot, you know, when you see it on the news that somebody put up something that they thought was cute and funny, my gosh, the next thing you know, they've got the police and human services at their door. So I can't see putting that risk out. I can't see taking that risk. It just doesn't make sense to me. But more importantly, I just feel that children have the right to their privacy, and anything you put out there can be kept forever by whoever and used however, whenever. And I don't think that's right. That's just my view. Okay, my view is children should not be exposed on YouTube. I don't care if they are babies. There are people out there who have raped 6-month-olds. There are people out there who have molested, kidnapped and molested, you know, little bitty children, babies. There are babies. We had one here in this state not too long ago that I think the baby was 5 months old or something like that. The boyfriend raped the baby. There's a lot of very sick people out there, guys. And that is why I came to this decision that nothing in my life will be out there for anybody to be able to criticize or find fault with or possibly cause trouble with, because you realize anything you put out there can be used against you at some point. Maybe even if you're looking for a job and you say something that they think is wrong and they're like, oh, I don't know about that. You have to be careful. I mean, as an adult, if you make the choice to put something up, well, then you make the choice. But I don't think it's fair to put children on there, because they might make the choice in saying, hey, I want it done because they think it's cool, but they don't realize that they're making a choice that could affect them down the line in one way or another. And that's just a sad fact, guys. It's the way our world is. And like I said, you could put up a video of your beautiful little 6-year-old girl doing a beautiful dance in her ballet, whatever. And as you and I speak, or as I speak to you right now, there's how many weirdos, perverts, sickos, psychotic nuts are on a computer watching your little girl dance and getting his thrills. And I'm sorry, but that's, you know, that's the way it is, and that's the way I feel. I just like knowing that I'm not contributing to the weirdos of the world when it comes to children. And I like knowing that when my grandchildren are older, they're going to know that there wasn't something put out there that maybe maybe they regretted saying or doing or behaving like, even though they were little children. Sometimes think about it when we think about when we were younger, some of the things we did, even as teenagers, um, some of the things you said or did or how you behaved, you look back and you go, oh my God, I can't believe I behaved that way. But back then, it wasn't exposed to the world. It was just known between your family, your friends, or relatives. It was a tighter circle. But by putting it out there for everybody to see, and that goes also to all you younger people out there who feel the need to post yourselves all the time on YouTube and your Instagram and your cell phones and all that. You guys, you've got to be so careful now. Nothing is private anymore. Everything is so publicized. Everything is so public and easily accessed that you do have to be careful. And the people in particular that asked me about why I felt the need to leave children out of it, that's the reason. Um, I don't think I don't think we have the right to take away their private moments or their private things in life. Um, they Before they're able to make the decision on what the domino effect can be, I don't think it's right that they should be put out there. And like I said, I don't want to contribute to the weirdos out there. I remember a story one time about some man who was arrested for molestation, and in his home they found a bunch of pictures that he had printed from online. They were all over his house, and he had written perverse and sick things on there. Well, can you imagine if someday when you're a little bit older, maybe you find out about some weirdo and you found out that maybe your picture was one of the ones he had on the wall when you were a child because he printed it out? I'm sorry, it's not so far-fetched anymore. That is the reality of our society. There are a lot of very sick people out there. And they focus on children because they are so helpless and they are so vulnerable. And to me, by putting them out there on YouTube, they are even more vulnerable to the weirdos. And I rest easy knowing that my grandchildren won't be part of the sickness that feeds them. And that's just the way I feel. Um, and as for adults, I mean, like I said in my video, Time for a Change, I'm not including anything about my children or my personal life or personal things or anything like that. Not only because I want it to be special and private and unique anymore, but also I'm not going to put myself out there for people to criticize or to condemn or to find something fault-wise with everything. Um, Something simple like I said, you could be videotaping your two boys wrestling, and you think it's funny and cute because they're wrestling, and later down the line, maybe like I said, they get into a fight and it's used against them, saying, "Look, he was a violent kid." It's just to me, guys, it's just too dangerous now. There's just too much out there. There's too much, and there's too many people, and not even just the private sector of this country, but the government, as we know, is they're watching everything and everyone, and I think you need to be careful. I think this whole YouTube thing has become kind of a dangerous thing in a lot of ways, not just with perverts, but a lot of what you do in your life can be used against you. You can expose too much information that not necessarily strangers, even family and friends, you might put up a video that you thought was funny or whatever, and maybe a family member or a friend thinks, well, that's kind of weird, I don't like that. And they hold on to it and maybe someday use it against you. They could someday say, see what your mom and dad videotaped of you, look at this. And they could create problems, It's reality, guys. It's not a far-fetched thing. There's just too much exposed anymore. And I think we all need to be careful. And that's my view on it. And I did not expect the response I got. I was totally shocked at the amount of people wondering about why I felt the need to no longer expose everything in my life and make videos just that were helpful and useful, hints and tips and things. That's the reason. I think there's just too much out there, and where children are concerned, I really do believe that they deserve the right to their privacy. Young children deserve the right to their privacy. I know a lot of you want to put your videos up showing your beautiful babies, you just had a baby, or your children doing the cutest things. But in reality, what you're doing is you're taking away their privacy. It used to be, before all of this, that pictures that were taken were given to family and friends or people you wanted to have them, to appreciate them. Now, because of everything being online and everything, like YouTube, anybody can get their hands on them and do whatever they want with them. And I personally just don't think it's worth the risk, guys. You have to make your own choices. You have to make your own decisions on what you do. That's true. But since I was asked why I'm doing this, that is why. Um, I'm sorry, it's just my view. Like I said, I'm not condemning any of you who have chosen to put your children and what have you online, on YouTube. But the bottom line is it's exposing them to too much, especially videos. You've got your children moving, dancing, being silly, dressing up. Maybe it's a cute little costume or whatever. You've got some weirdo out there thinking, oh baby. And I'm sorry, guys. I just feel good knowing that my grandchildren aren't a part of that. It's not a part of their sick minds. It's a very good feeling for me. And I know, like I said, a lot of you will say, well, that's not my problem. That's the weirdo's problem. But I disagree with that in the way that by helping those people and feeding them what makes them so perverse and sick, I think that contributes even more to the problem, because now it's so easily accessible to them to be able to, how could I put it, practice their sickness. Uh, and I just don't think that's right. I feel that children deserve their privacy. They deserve to know that anything they said or did or how they behaved wasn't exposed to the world. And the same goes for your home. Um, you just don't know. Like, say you put up a video and you think it's very innocent. You don't know what weirdo's gonna, or not even a weirdo, but just some fanatic, will look at it and think, oh, that back there looks kind of strange. I wonder what that is. I think I'm going to call somebody to check that out. You are opening yourself up to so much, to a big can of worms, by exposing a lot of things in your life. And you don't know who knows who knows who knows who that could lead someone right back to you at your doorstep. And I don't think that's worth the risk, especially where children are concerned. Um, I think a child's life should be kept private, except for those that you want to have it like it used to be. You gave a video, back when they had the old 8 tracks and all that. You made a video, you gave it to your mom and dad, your friend, your relative. You took pictures, you gave it to those you wanted, the way it was supposed to be. Um, I just think it's sad now that children, I'll be honest with you, that this is my opinion, because I was asked for my opinion on it all. I think it's very sad that children are being so exposed in the name of earning a few bucks from YouTube. Maybe the parents need the attention for themselves, so they do it through their children. They get that attention. Uh, they live through their children. They didn't get to be seen or whatever, so they put their kids up, and everybody's, oh, how cute, all that. But there's also a lot of people who are looking at it in another way, whether it be to criticize and condemn and cause you trouble with, or some weirdo. Um, so yes, my view is that I think technology has created a lot of problems where there used to be none. And it's a choice. It's a choice you make to put yourself and your children on there. As an adult, you make that choice. Children don't get to have that choice. If they're below, like, say, 16, I really believe that it should be a conversation of, do you really, or I should say, if they're below 16, I don't think children should be put on there by their parents. Now, I know you can't always control what your own children do, because I do see videos from, a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old putting themselves on there. And I don't know how to control that, other than I really don't, to be extra whatever with your children, but when it comes to parents putting their children on there, I do think that you should wait until they're older and you can really discuss the consequences that this video may have, no matter how innocent it may seem to the parent. Um, I think children should have the right to say, no, I don't want myself out there for the world to see. No, I don't want them to see that behavior. Or, no, I didn't want them to see me doing that. Something as simple as, recording your two little boys playing cops and robbers, shall we say, like boys do. Um, your little boy could be out there, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to shoot you, because of what they've seen on TV or movies or whatever. It's an innocent play. I mean, I grew up at a time, I'm 59, and the boys always played like that, cops and robbers and all that kind of stuff. It was just, they had their little toy guns and everything. I mean, it was just the way it was. But now a child pulls out a toy gun and they're accused of being possibly mentally ill and planning to kill somebody later on in life. So what you think is an innocent little play between your two sons, somebody can hang on to. They can record that, or they can keep it on their computer somehow, and someday use it against them. Same with your little girl. Your little girl might be totally into her makeup phase, maybe putting on her mommy's high heels and her fancy clothes and her makeup and the way little girls do. Um, and somebody hangs on to that. And then maybe later on, that little girl, who knows, maybe she, as a teenager, she has a lot of boyfriends or whatever, somebody pulls out the video and, yeah, you were a little whore back then. You know what I'm saying? There's so much that can be used in so many ways, and I do not feel that it's right to put children out there. That's just my view, for me personally. And like I said, do not be offended. I mean, if you are people who have done that, I am not trying to put you down. But when I'm asked my opinion, I'm going to give my honest opinion. I'm not going to sugarcoat it to make everybody feel, ooh, that's my honest opinion. So all I can say is be careful what you put out there. Be careful what you show in your background. Be careful what you're saying. Be careful what your children, if you're going to do it, what they're saying, how they're behaving, um, because you just don't know. There's too many people out there watching these videos now that can create a lot of trouble for you or can endanger you. If somebody is, like I said, what happens with YouTube is when you first start, you're very cautious how you're doing it, if you're doing it right. Then you become more and more comfortable, and before you know it, you're exposing more and more and more about your life, where you live, what you do, blah, blah, blah. Before you know it, you give it enough information for someone to track you down. So I suggest you just be careful. As an adult, you be careful what you say and do and show on YouTube. But as far as children are concerned, I'm sorry, I don't think they should be on there. I really believe it's not the right thing to do. That's my personal view. Um, Too many, like I said, too many parents are living through their children and find that by exposing them, it's kind of like, how you see so many families and people are so upset with these mothers who put their little girls in the beauty pageants, and they're like, oh my God, let them be children, don't put them through that, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of the same thing. You're exposing your children for whatever reason, um, and I don't think it should be done. Give them their privacy. Give them the right to be little children without having somebody be able to condemn them or bully them over something that was put on YouTube. What you put up on YouTube right now of your, say, 8-year-old, somebody could use when they're 14 and bully them for it. Put them through living hell for it. Maybe you think it's cute that your little boy put on this costume, his Halloween costume, whatever it may be. You think it's cute. And then down the line, umpteen people have seen this, and somebody could come back on and bully the hell out of that kid. I just think it's too much exposure, guys. Technology has created too much exposure with Instagram, with cell phones, with Facebook, with YouTube, with online stuff. It's too much. So be careful for yourselves as adults. And I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm not going to make another video about this. This is the end of this whole thing about my time for a change video. Uh, and I appreciate the letters because none of them were rude. They were all just curious. which I understand, because sometimes you get into this YouTube thing and you don't realize really what you're doing, and then somebody says something, you're thinking, and you have to remember all this stuff that can be used against you. Like if you're anything you research on your computer can be used against you. Look at these people that they have arrested for one thing or another. The first thing they do is they go and get the computers to see. Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about that. But the first thing they do is they get the computer to see what they've been researching. And how many of us aren't curious about things in life just because we're curious? Not because we're going to be doing it or putting it to use, but we're curious. Uh, how many of you have looked up something that you thought, wow, that's weird, I'm going to look that up? Or how come a person would do that? I'm going to look that up. Or your mind is curious to find out why about so many things. And they can come in and look at your computer. Oh, look, this person was looking up this drug, or this person was looking up about this or that. And they'll try to apply it to you and say, well, there must be a reason that you were looking that up. It can be used against you. When in reality, like let's make up a story here. Like say you knew somebody, okay, who was a drug addict, and you were curious about what would make a mind be that way, and you looked up the drugs they used, like, oh my gosh, they're using this drug. uh, Cocaine, what is it, the effects of it, what causes addiction, what other drugs create this, blah blah. You can look that all up only because you're curious. You're just curious about why this person became a drug addict. Well, if somebody were to come in and get your computer and look at it, oh look, they were looking up cocaine, they were looking up this, they were looking up that. You got to be careful. Um, and I feel that the more you expose yourself on YouTube, you are really opening up yourself for a lot. So that's why my videos, guys, are going to be kind of nothing but helpful, useful tips and things, stuff like that. Um, because if you want to use it against me that I made a recipe a certain way, well then go right ahead. Maybe I used corn when I should have used peas. I don't know, but that's the worst that can get. Um, it's a dangerous world out there, guys. And when it comes to children, I say protect them and don't expose them and give them the right to privacy. And don't feed the weirdos and the perverts and the sickos out there with videos of your children playing, dancing, hugging each other, hugging you, kissing each other, little cousins kissing, or brother and sister kissing each other. I mean, it's just so much sickness out there. Keep those things private. Keep them with the people that you love, the people that matter, the people that are actually part of your life. Keep it out of the hands of the sickos. That's all. Uh, I know that I can go to bed at night and know that no weirdo is on their computer right now looking at my grandchildren dancing, prancing, laughing, playing, rolling over, hopping up and down, jumping, hugging, kissing. They can't look at it and get their sickness, their sicko thrills off of my grandchildren. And thankfully not my children, because none of this was around before. So that's that, guys. And this is pretty much the end of this whole thing uh, about time for a change. Not only for the fact that like I said in my video, I want things in my life to be unique and special and meaningful by keeping it private, but for all these reasons as well. So there you go, guys. Take care, and I wish you all the best. And like I said, I'm not saying this because I am condemning anyone or I'm trying to tell you what to do. But when I'm asked an opinion, I'm going to give an honest one, and that's my honest opinion about children in particular on YouTube and everything else. So everything else I said, that's my personal opinion. Take care, guys. See you later.